Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will introduce our group first. So, our group has 5 members, including myself, Maulidya Utami R, Zahratul Aeni, Raya Prawira, Rezki Nurhidayah Muchtar, and Aldita Anggun Fauzia. After discussing the result together, we choose the SQ5R teaching method as the reading teaching method, which we will explain. SQ5R is one of many methods to improve reading skill and understand information from a text. SQ5R consists of survey, question, read, recite, record, review, and reflect. This method is used to improve metacognitive in students to understand a text. In addition, this method aims to equip students with a systematic approach to types of reading text. This method was originally known as the SQ3R method: survey, question, read, recite, review, and was developed by an educational psychologist from the United States named Francis B. Robinson in 1941. However, for several reasons, the SQ3R method was finally developed by Thomas and Robinson in 1972 to become the SQ4R method: survey, question, read, recite, record, and review. After this method is used by educators, then it happened change to SQ5R, which is commonly used in teaching a language course, because each learning step includes skills in teaching a language. The advantage of this method is that reading is considered more efficient because it is directed at conclusion or the main contents implicit and explicit in the book or text. While the weakness of this method is that this method can make it difficult for students to follow the next material if they are not careful and thorough.
Okay, survey. The first step in the SQ5R method is to conduct a survey or a preliminary review of the material to be studied. This is done in order to understand in general terms the topic and content of the reading material. By conducting surveys, you can collect the information needed to focus attention when reading. In conducting a survey, it is recommended to prepare a pencil, paper, marker, or highlighter as a marker with various colors such as yellow, green, and so on to mark certain parts. Important part will be use a question material that need to be marked to facilitate the process of compiling a list of questions that will be carried out in the second step. Next is questions. After conducting the survey, students need to make a list of questions relevant to the material to be studied. After conducting a survey, students will find several questions, and the list of the questions can be used as a guide in reading to be considerate of questions depends on the length of the text and the ability to understand the text being studied. This will help students focus on the most important information and foster curiosity about the material. The question crate can be either open-ended or closed depending on the learning objective to be achieved.
Okay, next is read. After conducting a survey and creating a list of questions, the student begin to read the reading materials thoroughly and systematically. The student should search for answers to the question that have been made, take note of important information, and understand the concept that have been explained. And when we reading carefully paragraph by paragraph, it is known that each paragraph develops a main idea. When combined, this main idea become a unity, reflecting the main ideas of a series of a paragraph in a discourse. Okay, next recite. The following action is to examine or rewrite down the knowledge acquired. The knowledge can be repeated orally by the students, or they can write a summary of the subject they have studied. These base goals are to aid pupils in remembering what they've studied and to improve the links between newly acquired knowledge and what they already know. The purpose of this text is to help students remember the information that has been learned and to strengthen the connections between new information and existing knowledge.
Okay, next is record. After going through the recite phase with oral answers, write an answer on a piece of paper without looking back at the book or text. Basically, record aims to reiterate various information but in the form of answers to our questions and information others we consider important. Summarize them and conclude upon what which has already been read according to the reader's version in writing. So next is a review. In this phase, students are expected not to repeat reading. Pay close attention to the titles, pictures, diagrams, review questions again to ensure that a complete picture of the discourse has been understood. This page will be very helpful in remembering reading so that students will easily recall because they are stored in the long-term memory of the brain. Briefly, in the review stage, a test or review is carried out on the completeness of the restatement that was carried out in the recite step. So, if there are deficiencies, should be completed. If there is a mistake, corrected. In the end, a complete information structure will be compiled.
Okay, the next is reflect. After reading, students need to reflect on what they have learned. This is done by retracing material that has been read and trying to understand how the information relates to previous knowledge and experience. The purpose of this reflection is to help students understand deeper concepts and relate the information to existing knowledge. In the reflect phase, it is enough for the reader not only to remember the information in the reading, but to understand the information conveyed by number 1 is connecting this information with things that we already know, like prior knowledge. And number 2 is linking the subtopics in the text with the main concept or participles. Number 3 is resolve contradictions in the information presented. And the last is using material to solve simulated problem and suggest from the reading. Okay, in all, the SQ5R method is an effective way to help students learn effectively and efficiently. By surveying, make equations, read, reflect, review, and review the material that has been studied. Okay, that's all for our present. Thank you for opportunity and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.